Hey, Max here, and I've got a little bit of Mad Max, but this is a new series I want to try out, and I need your input. Give it a shot, see if it works. If it doesn't, oh well. But Movie News Translator, there's so many movie news shows on YouTube right now, and there's so many articles out there. Are they really reporting the news? Or what's really going on? I'm going to give you my opinions. I want to hear your opinions. Let's really talk. Let's talk movies for real. Let's really say what's going on and get our strong opinions in there. So, some of the stuff hitting the movie news entertainment today is Infinity War coverage is ramping up, and Collider today. The movie talk was about is it going to be box office record Infinity War? And I think it has a really good shot. Look at this poster. I really just wanted to look at this poster with you guys because it looks amazing. I cannot wait to see this movie. I do not normally buy my tickets in advance, but this one, you might have to buy your ticket in advance for this one. It might be sold out in a lot of showings. And then over on the Campea show, Patreon overlord Campea, he made a plea to the review community not to have spoiler reviews. Now, I actually do not put spoiler reviews out before the movie premiere. Now, I actually agree with him, but does he need to make a video about it? What's behind the video? And here's where I get the translator in full force, because what's he really care about? My opinion, it's about having a video that says Infinity War spoiler review all in the title so he can be the first one out with it. And if anything, it causes more problems for spoilers because it gets the trolls ramped up to spoil it for other people. It doesn't help anything. I agree with his point of view. I do not disagree with Campea all the time. I agree with him. But to make a whole video about it, I think that's kind of lame. Because it's not helping anything. People are going to do it anyway, especially YouTubers, because that access that we always talk about that is so important and they're so dismissive of. And it's important to have videos constantly about it. All right, and now let's get on to Star Trek. Now, Simon Pegg actually popped up a few times today in movie news. One was about the Star Trek After Beyond. Were rumors that Tartino he had a pitch that I believe Paramount was really on board with, but now Simon Pegg in an interview says time is a factor and probably will not happen because Tarantino is going to be busy with the next few years on his 10th and I think final film. But what's really going on here, I think we all kind of knew it was dead in the water as soon as the Uma Thurman news story broke about the car crash on Kill Bill, and also the interview with Howard Stern that was years ago about Roman Polanski. Now, that was not his best moment, but it was a moment in time. And Hollywood was all behind Roman Polanski at that time because the Pianist movie was getting a lot of buzz, and he was not the only one that talked like this at that time. I'm not saying it was right. I'm just saying at that time, I can remember that's when I still used to watch the Oscars. I really don't do anymore, very rarely. But it's at a moment in time, and it's out of context for how the world is right now. So, but I think if those two combinations together, the Star Trek, who knows if we'll ever get another Star Trek movie with the cast that's in there now. It's looking very unlikely. And also making the round for Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones 5 is the last for Harrelson, which I think that's good. Do one more and be done. If it makes a lot of money, I believe Spielberg, and I believe Harrison Ford. I think this will be the last one. But then Spielberg went on to troll the internet and says maybe that, well, this is the last for Harrison, but they plan on continuing Indiana Jones as a series, and maybe it will be a female Indiana Jones and be Joan. So this is where I completely disagree. Not because it can't be a woman, but because why do you need to do it? I think it's just to prove a point where I want strong women characters in blockbuster movies, but maybe you should create a new character. Or even a new character within Indiana Jones 5. Not just replace the character and make it a woman. I think that's lame, and that is the trend in Hollywood. But tell me what your thoughts are there. And also, the Last Starfighter sequel is getting some traction with Rogue One writers attached to write the Last Starfighter sequel. I'm up for it. I'm not like super attached. I liked Rogue One a lot. So if you viewers agree, please comment below. And honestly, I don't know why he didn't get Gareth Edwards didn't get opportunities to make another Star Wars movie after that, but they're so on board for Rian Johnson, it doesn't make sense to me, because I think Rogue One captured the spirit of old Star Wars better than both The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi, in my opinion. So that's a shame, but maybe they'll do something amazing with The Last Starfighter. Okay, here's Simon Pegg popping up again. He claims JJ had plans for Rey's parents. And this is where, here's the translation on this one, is producing means nothing. Especially with JJ and Spielberg. They produce everything. I honestly believe he had no idea where Rian was taking it, and they like to spin it saying all these directors are working together, but there's a reason they came crawling back to JJ. Not saying it was the right thing to do, and honestly, now I don't think it was the right thing to do, but he dropped all the storylines that JJ set up. And the thing is, you didn't have to. So that really, what is up with Rian? You did not have to. You could have just, if you didn't want to deal with it, you didn't have to address it at all. You could have alluded to something. You didn't have to answer definitively. He could have just left it unanswered for a lot of these plot points, but he decided to answer them in the most boring, uninteresting way. So here's just another example of him just shutting down a plot point, taking the fun out of Star Wars. And there's not much to look forward to for episode 9. Here's more Star Wars news, and I'm going to try to include, if I continue this series, I'm going to try to include as much Star Wars news as I can. I believe this is a Screen Rant article. Rian Johnson will capture the spirit of Star Wars in the new trilogy. And in that article, an interview with Digital Spy, the director talked about his mindset as he looks to tackle the gargantuan task of creating an entirely new Star Wars film story from scratch. I'm looking at everything right now. I'm honestly just in the very nice, okay, what is this thing going to be phase? Really, the only goal I have is to think about how Star Wars made me feel as a kid, and that's it. I'm trying to capture what is that. It's not iconography that we recognize necessarily from the original trilogy. What captures the spirit? What can be the kid who's never heard of Star Wars? I'm getting back to the very fundamental questions of what it is. I wish you would have done that for The Last Jedi. That's what I'd say about it. I think the problem with The Last Jedi is it doesn't have the feel, and I don't think anyone should have got a green light to make a new trilogy without even an idea. I think they should have had a bunch of people. You know how many directors would want, well, maybe not now, but would want an opportunity to work on Star Wars, I think they all should have made their own pitch and then pitched it to Lucasfilm before anybody got the green light instead of a blank canvas to one guy. He didn't create Star Wars to begin with. He shouldn't be given this free reign. And I don't think he's going to get his free reign either. So, there you go. Also, and this is a segment I like to call Zero News. Read into that what you will. There's news always popping up every day. There's not much content in it. Okay, here's one of the videos that popped up today. And Zero News. There is going to be a Solo trailer too. Wow, imagine that. I'm surprised they actually are making a trailer too. I thought it was just going to be quietly go into the premiere. If they show more of Han, it's too risky. If maybe I think if they're going to show a trailer too, that they're going to focus on Lando, and that's why they held him back. That would be the smart thing. I'm not rooting for this movie because of the situation at Lucasfilm, but the smart thing to do would be the reason Lando did not speak in the first two trailers was to put him in this one, and that's going to be your selling point. And that's wrong, really, because if Lando, it should be called Lando then, not Solo. I think that's why they're holding back, and that's what their trailer 2 is going to be, and I think that's all you're going to get. Also, Woody Harrelson as Carnage in the Venom movie. I think that's a great casting choice. I just hope we get to see enough of him. I think a lot of viewers out there, I think the fear is that we're not going to get to see too much of Venom being Venom and Carnage being Carnage. And I want to see a lot of it. I want some exciting stuff. But I'm looking forward to this movie. From the trailers, I'm not so far. But I'm still holding out hope for the movie. Okay, and this is some hot topics. Because if I do this daily show, the movie news translator, to say what's really going on, get we're missing strong opinions in movie news community. That's all it is. I mean, there's some other great channels out there, but the mainstays, the popular movie news shows, there's not a lot of strong opinions. It's just kind of pandering and down the line and boring. So that's why I decided to do this series. But Hot Topic is a main series for me. I love doing them. I love to hear your comments, and here's some ideas that I have working on. And tell me which one you want to see. What George really thinks of 7, 8, 9 right now. And I was watching some interviews back in the day when he just sold Disney. So I'm kind of try to put something together there. Or the critics are already gearing up for Solo. And for that one, you're gonna have to comment to see if you want it, and then I'll work on that too. So I'm hard at work on Hot Topics. And here is the viewer comment for today's episode. Chris Rucker. After hearing the news of what happened with Colin Trevorrow, I took another look at what happened in Last Jedi and realized he derailed every plot line established before him by Abrams. Killed Luke and left Leia alive even though Carrie passed away, leaving very little for the next director to work with. Completely agree. Thanks for your comment. He killed all the storylines and he didn't have to. He could have left some there, but he just... Can you think of any story plot line that was set up in The Force Awakens that's still there after Last Jedi that he didn't kill? No, you can't. And did he have to? No, he didn't. And the interview the other day that really got me annoyed was when he was saying, it was simple. I could have just left him on the island. Then why didn't you? Why didn't you leave him on the island? Because Colin Trevorrow would still have his job and his story would have worked if you would have just left him on the island. Oh, that's so natural to leave him on the island, it came together organically. that you had to kill Luke, when if you just did like in his own words, Ryan's own words, I could have just left him there. That's kind of like trolling even Colin. There must have been real drama behind the scenes there. That's my take on it. But that's all for this episode. Tell me what you think. I really need your feedback on this. And I want to thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next episode, and look out for the next hot topic.